bossy, you're too much, you're not feminine enough for them?
I think that sounds a lot to me like insecurities and the inability to seek what you want with what you have, where you are. That's what I really think about that. It almost disgusts me and is borderline gaslighting.
So you remember the movie 300, and one of the pivotal points in the movie is when the young boy is basically going to have his rites of passage, where the mother who loves the son says, I love you, I've done my job raising you as a young boy, and now it's time for you to go off and become a man, right? And for some of us in the Black community, we were very lucky, you know, if we grew up in, you know, a nuclear family with a father and a mother, you know, and the father, you know, like I was very fortunate to have, the father said, hey, it's time for you to be a man. You got to go and do it. I taught you what you needed to know. Let's go. Then you have a clear cutoff where, okay, it's time for me to be a man. Let's go. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to play that first clip is because you have two adult women who are basically trying to police the behaviors of other grown men that aren't even their sons. You can go over there and do that, but you know, they use the word tricking and all that stuff, and okay, whatever. But this idea that grown women are still out here trying to police the behaviors of grown men who aren't breaking the law is contrary to what you would have seen in Sparta in 300. Now I want to show you an earlier clip from about 30 years ago that shows pretty much kind of the seeds of where you're getting this real pushback in this passport bro evolution. So this is a clip from almost 30 years ago to the day from Sally, Jessy, Raphael, and this is a clip of a woman who set her son up with another lady's daughter, and they've been dating probably 3 or 4 years. So I'll let you guys hear it for yourself.
Worst thing that ever happened to Ricky, end quote. Now what makes Gina especially angry is that she's the one who set them up. So it sounds like your idea backfired. Gina, tell us what happened.
Well, Nancy and I, which is Andrea's mother, we got together over a period of time and got those two together. And
it was the idea, you two were friends, so you said, let's match up your son with her daughter. I think that's a nice thing.
Okay, so the first thing I want to point out here is that I wouldn't say this is necessarily an arranged situation, but the situation happened with her blessing. So I want to make sure we take note of that. The boy didn't necessarily, the young man didn't necessarily choose the mate. Actually, the mate appears to have been chosen for him, continuing.
I thought it was too.
Okay. Ricky, how old are you?
19.
19, all right. How old is Andrea?
17.
17, all right. Go ahead, what happened?
Well,
see, we may
I
stand a
listened
chance.
to what Nancy had told me about her daughter. She was the idealistic cheerleader. She was a straight A student, virgin, and all this stuff. And so I went for it. And so I hooked my son up with her.
Okay, so again, notice it's all about the approval has to come from her. This is a 19-year-old guy, and she still needs to have the approval of who he's going to be with.
Okay.
And the first day she stepped in my house, she slept with my son right in my house. So that killed everything.
How
right
old
there.
were they then?
15 and 17.
15 and 17. Are you still going together?
Yes, we are.
So what the parents wanted to happen, happened.
Yes, it
That's
happened.
good news.
Yeah.
No?
I
No. Gina, there's something I'm not getting. This is bad news?
Oh, most certainly.
Why, huh?
Now, that's really interesting that Sally, Jessy, Raphael doesn't see anything wrong here. Now, would you rather teenagers not be having sex? Of course you would. But come on. I mean, be real. I mean, the two teenagers, they're consenting and they like each other, and you know, maybe it's not ideal, but it's the situation. And Sally, Jessy, Raphael's like, what's the problem here? The question you have to ask is, what is the mother's issue? Especially for a 19-year-old.
Because my expectations of Andrea was much greater than that.
What did you want?
I wanted her to be what her mom told me she was going to be, a lady.
But I want you to be a lot of things. You can't be that for me. Why she gotta be something for you?
But we're not discussing me.
We're
Discussing
her. She ain't gotta be what you wanted. She gotta be what I want her to be.
And that's what you want.
I got her like I want her. I love her very much.
Now this is a young man poking his chest out, right? He is poking his chest out saying, hey, listen, I'm a man here, right?
And you steadily making me pick over you and her. That ain't even right. You supposed to be my mama. You supposed to love her just because she's my girlfriend.
No, I'm not.
Oh, well.
No, I'm not.
Ricky, you've been caught between your mom and your girlfriend. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel terrible because I wouldn't think my mother would be that childish to make me pick over her and my girlfriend. You know,
I'm not being childish. I'm being realistic.
That's not
How
realistic.
can you
at
tell
all.
Why
me
do you not?
that this girl that's messed up you going to a 4-year college?
She ain't messed
Yes,
me
she
going.
did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
I didn't want to go to college because I didn't want to go to college.
Wait, how?
Yeah, because
Mom,
it was all fine and good until she got into the picture.
Mother, how did she mess him up to go to college?
Because, when she got into the picture, it was all fine and good. She was going to Xavier, he was going to Grambling. But just because there was going to be 1 year separation between the two of them, she couldn't stand that. Now, personally, I don't think a person's future is worth sleeping in somebody, snoring in somebody's face for 1 year. You know what I'm saying? That.
Oh, look at that approval. Look at that. Look at who's approving. Now, again, when I bring up the 300, there is a point when the mother said, listen, it's time for you to go out and be a man. And this is a young man at 19 years old, and he still doesn't have the ability to do that. And, it is what it is, because you see these two ladies here, and they're agreeing with what the mom is doing.
Especially when it's so
your
hard for you to
education
get
is very, very
exactly.
My education is important, but for one, she can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to do. I ain't never let you tell me what to do before. And now, look, she can't choose what I can do. I picked because I didn't want to go to college because I didn't want to go. I'm going to college now, bro.
And I guess you must think that makes you sound extremely intelligent right about now.
As long as I'm still in school, it don't matter where I went.
What school are you in?
I'm in Santa Rosa JC. Thank you. Santa Rosa JC.
Since
Got
when?
a job.
Since
I've been
when?
enrolled. Been enrolled.
Since when?
Thank you. I've been enrolled.
Because you wasn't enrolled last week?
Yes. What? I ain't talked to
Now, look, you can see it, right? If this is your dynamic for, I wouldn't even say mother-daughter, but your dynamic for, man-woman, you're going to, at some point, you're going to have to say, look, I got to spread my wings because my DNA says I'm a grown-ass man, right? And you can see that even you're not in college, you ain't, and how do you react to that? What is the best way for a grown man to react to his mother clipping his wings? Okay, so now we're gonna get a chance to see the young lady and her mother come out.
Yes. What? I ain't talked to you in 2 weeks. How you gonna tell me I ain't talked to you in 2 weeks?
Andrea and her mother Nancy have been waiting backstage, and I'm sure they have plenty to say about all of this, especially considering that Nancy and Gina haven't seen or spoken to each other in nearly 2 years. I would like to know why Nancy and Gina can't get, what broke you two up?
Now, notice, we already know, we heard the story, the boy and the girl have liked each other since 9 and 7. This is almost literally a full decade of these two being around each other, and the mother has taken issue with them dating, even though they introduced them, right? Now, when I mentioned the gaslighting earlier, the gaslighting is the manipulation. That's what makes my ears perk up. What I'm seeing in this dynamic is mom wants to control son. Mom doesn't want what's best for son. The other thing is, look at the ratio. Look, it's 3 women and it's 1 young man. The ratio is tilted in the other favor. So anytime you want to stick your chest out or puff your chest out, there's going to be a majority of people pushing back. Continuing.
You were very close friends.
Well, she sued my mom when she caused an accident. She sued my mom many years ago. And we hadn't spoke since then until we ran into each other and we let bygones be bygones. then our kids were in love when they were like 9 and 7, you know, and she had thought about Ricky all those years.
She is a relationship therapist.
Okay, so this is not all of the episodes, so it got cut a little bit, but I really want you to listen to the breakdown that the psychologist gives.
And says one of the biggest mistakes a mother can make is to kind of be in competition with the son's girlfriend. I think we've seen a lot of that. Have you ever had fights in your office? Do they break out?
Not in my office.
None? Okay. How do you keep them from breaking out?
Well, you know, there are so many emotions going on here. Can we go back to the little boys growing up with their moms and why this has all happened?
Sure, I'd like to.
When a little boy is about 5 years old, he recognizes that there's a distinction between him and mom. I mean, they are biologically different, and he tries very, very hard to separate himself from his mother. And all through his growing up years, he tries to become more and more independent. When he is not permitted to be that independent, then we do shows on guys who feel engulfed by women and then won't commit.
Now, this goes right back. It goes right back to it. I'm going to show it to you so you can see it. When you look at the 300, they have a clear distinction point. This is where you become a man now. And we're seeing in a lot of families, especially when you don't have the father there, that point never comes. And so you're seeing guys, the DNA in guys says, listen, I'm going to buck because it's time for me to be my own man. It slows the progress of guys saying, you know what, I got to get out there and do my thing.
Right.
So what we're seeing here is wonderful, that these guys have taken it upon themselves to find women and to announce that they are now independent and they are going to strike a happy, or at least attempt to strike a happy life for themselves.
So why are we having these family problems?
Because there are so many problems with the moms feeling that all of this separation is going on, and mom has to let go and let their sons establish their own lives. Right now.
There it is right there. Now, when I see the movement, the Passport Bros movement, I see a relationship similar to, well, a mother-son relationship, because however, you know, again, if you grew up in a nuclear family with a mom and dad, you don't really notice it because, you know, my dad said, hey, listen, man, you're grown, you're 18, it's time to step up, let's go. But if you're in a relationship and your mother's relationship with you is similar to what you're seeing in this kind of video, at some point you have to say, listen, I gotta spread my wings, I got to go, I gotta do me. And what you get on the other side is what we saw in the opening video from the Fox 26 is you're not supposed to do this, and I don't understand why you don't stay here and find somebody. And there's no clear separation of saying, hey, listen, I understand you're the man is going to go do what the man's got to do, and I'm going to be the woman here waiting for you. We don't really get that in our community. And one of the things I think that is really pressing guys to say, hey, listen, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go see, you know, what's out there for me, and I'm going to go be a passport bro and see what's out there, is because that pull inside of us says, hey, listen, I'm my own man. It's time for me to spread my wings and fly. And the nagging, the pulling is like, hey, listen, I'm a man. This is what men do. And what you get is, you ain't no man, or you got to be a man the way I tell you to be a man, or you aren't being the kind of man that is fitting for our community, as opposed to go be a man and then come back and we're going to see what we could do with you in our community. And that rite of passage is something that, because a lot of men didn't get that, I'll be honest with you, I'll tell you that I think for a lot of young men, becoming a passport bro is their rite of passage. I'm spreading my wings. This is me doing me. You got a problem with it? I don't care, because I'm going out into the wilderness to learn how to be a man. So don't get in my way and let me do me. Please like, subscribe. Feel free to comment down below and let me know what you think. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.